Your self-worth is the productivity scam they never tell you about. You work hard, but your worth still lives on a scoreboard. Miss one start time and it feels like you missed being a good person. That hard worker identity runs your life, and it's exhausting. Here's the loop. You slip, shame spikes, you numb with a scroll, then overcorrect with a marathon session and burnout. Repeat. We're breaking that today. You'll get a one-sentence reframe that stops the spiral in seconds, a 3-step daily reset, and a weekly cadence that rewires the cues. Quick win first, then the deeper psychology so it sticks. The secret lever isn't discipline, it's autonomy. Why this matters: when your output equals your worth, every dip feels dangerous. Your nervous system hits alarm, and alarm pushes you to avoid, prove, or both waste time. Stop the shame surge quickly, and you keep your thinking brain online, your identity stable, and your day salvageable. Here's the exact line I use. My output is variable, my worth is not. Today I budget energy, not prove value. Say it out loud. Write it at the top of your page. It's short on purpose. You don't need a pep talk, you need a belief toggle that cuts power to shame. What it's doing under the hood: it splits performance from person, lowering identity threat and avoidance. It shifts the goal from proving to budgeting, restoring autonomy. It acknowledges variability, so your brain allocates resources instead of hunting for failure. How to use it in the moment. You notice the miss. You didn't start the report at 9, it's 10:17. You feel the surge, tight chest, harsh self-talk, the scroll is calling. Say the line out loud. Then ask, given my energy, what's the next clear step I can do in 2 minutes? That 2-minute step locks the reframe into behavior. 2 minutes is short enough to beat avoidance and long enough to grab traction. Try these across life domains. Work dread, open the doc and type the title and today's date. Fitness wobble, put on shoes and do 10 bodyweight squats. Inbox avalanche, sort by sender and archive newsletters for 2 minutes. Home chaos, set a 3-minute timer and clear 1 counter. Relationships, send a single sentence, thinking of you text. Turn the miss into data with a 3-line conversion. Old story, I failed. Learning line, data, I underestimated, start friction. Budget adjustment, plan, 1 outline pass, 20 minutes at 11:30. Notice the verbs, underestimated, reduce, plan, not judge, punish, prove. You're turning a verdict into a variable. Common mistake, rebranding pressure. It sounds like, my worth isn't output, so I better crush it. Same trap, nicer words. If you catch yourself bargaining, once I clear the queue, I'll deserve lunch. Pause and repeat the autonomy piece, I budget energy. Then pick a 2-minute step, not a 2-hour sprint. Another mistake, using the line once and expecting identity to change. Treat it like a seatbelt. Roads are unpredictable, you clip it every ride. Write it daily. You're training a reflex that meets unpredictability with choice, not panic. Quick win stack. Step A, write the line at the top of your plan. My output is variable, my worth is not. Today I budget energy, not prove value. Step B, add a sticky note that says, 2-minute next step. Step C, when shame pings, say the line, then do the 2-minute action before you think. Micro story, a client kept nuking mornings doomscrolling after late starts. We added the reframe and a 2-minute first move. Open the presentation and paste yesterday's notes. Day 1, she started at 10:42 instead of noon. Day 3, the late start was 9:18. The win wasn't willpower, it was lowering identity stakes and restoring choice. If you remember nothing else here, the reframe isn't a confidence mantra. It's a trigger for a tiny, chosen action that reasserts autonomy. Confidence follows competence signals, and competence starts with visible movement, not perfect outcomes. Let's do a dreaded task demo, taxes. Old self-talk. If I were responsible, this would be done. New reframe. My output is variable, my worth is not. Today I budget energy, not prove value. Because I choose to reduce future stress. Micro choice. Scope, 5 receipts. 2-minute action, open the folder and tag 5 files. If momentum appears, continue. If not, you still banked a win and preserved identity. One more for relationships. You've been avoiding a difficult message. Old story, if I cared, I'd have done it already. Reframe the identity stake, then make it tiny. Draft a 3-sentence outline, no sending yet. 2 minutes, 1 inch of choice, and the shame surge drops. You've felt the switch. Next, we'll plug autonomy into every task so this reframe has a home. Fast fact, autonomy is the lever. Now hear why that reframe works so fast. It gives you back a sense of choice. When we feel controlled by calendars, bosses, metrics, motivation tanks. In self-determination theory, Desai and Ryan showed that 3 needs drive healthy motivation: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. You just sparked competence with a tiny win. Let's flip autonomy on purpose so the system stays stable even when the day wobbles. Start with language. Swap "I have to" with "I choose to" because for every task. That single because reconnects effort to a reason you endorse, which lowers resistance. Try it right now. I choose to draft the report because it clarifies my thinking and saves me stress tomorrow. Feel the mic release? That's autonomy. Your brain stops acting like a hostage and starts acting like a partner. Next, install a micro-choice menu. You don't need total freedom. You need one controllable lever per task. Pick from 3 categories. Scope, what's the smallest slice that still moves it? Start time, when in the next hour feels realistic to begin. First step, what's the least effort action that makes it tangible? Grab one lever, not all 3. Constrained control beats fantasy freedom. Most people say, "I'll do it when I feel like it," and end up with none. You'll pick 1 inch and move. Let me show you 2 quick rewrites. Old, I have to clean the inbox. New, I choose to clear 10 emails because it lowers mental noise before my call. Micro-choice, scope, 10 emails. First step, 3-minute timer. Another old, I should work out, I'm weak if I skip. New, I choose to move for 12 minutes because it improves sleep. Micro-choice, setting home hallway. First step, press play on a short routine. Notice we didn't negotiate identity, we negotiated conditions. Add the because booster. If your reason is vague, add a time horizon or value. Because it saves me 2 hours Friday, or because it protects trust with my team. Intrinsic reasons, personally endorsed, produce smoother effort than pressure or surveillance. You're turning a push into a pull. Here's a tiny autonomy drill you can run in 30 seconds. Write the task. Add I choose to because. Pick one lever, scope, start, or first step. Act for 2 minutes before you think. Common mistake, trying to reclaim every lever perfectly. Best scope, best time, best playlist. One lever is enough. If you're stuck, default to first step, open the doc, name the file, drop 3 bullets. Touching the task flips the switch faster than optimizing the plan. Now link autonomy to competence so the engine keeps cooling. After your 2-minute action, log a single behavior line, named the file and wrote 3 bullets. That visible action is what your nervous system trusts. It's not performative, it's reinforcement. Over time, your brain learns that small chosen moves produce progress, so starting feels safer and faster. Let's run an end-to-end example on a real task. Proposal drafting. Autonomy, I choose to outline because it reduces confusion for Thursday's meeting. Micro-choice. Scope 1 page, first step, write 3 client outcomes. Competence, set a 20-minute timer, write the outcomes, and log the action line after. Safety, keep the stop even if momentum hits. Bonus blocks are optional, not penance. You just fed autonomy, competence, and practical safety in under 30 minutes. Another angle, when metrics and feeds yank your attention, autonomy shrinks. Hide dashboards until review time, silence preview banners, and give yourself 1-click starts that open the doc and timer. You're removing external control cues so your chosen constraint can do the guiding. If you remember nothing else, remember this pairing. Choose plus because and 1 micro-choice per task. You'll feel the hostage doors open. We'll use that feeling to build the system that keeps shame from grabbing the wheel next. Mechanism Part 1. How the hard worker identity forms. Before we continue, you need to understand the soil this identity grew in. None of us invented hard worker alone. We were trained. Early signals taught us that effort equals goodness and output equals belonging. At school, gold stars, grades, and perfect attendance weren't just feedback, they were social currency. Do more, get praised. Slow down, get side-eyed. Your brain loves predictable loops, so it wired this: perform, then you're safe. That circuit upgraded in adulthood. Performance reviews, dashboards, and always-on tools turned effort into a scoreboard. Hours and heroics became the proof. At first, the praise feels great. then identity narrows around the thing that gets applause. The thing most people miss is how specificity compresses identity. If the compliments land only on grinding, you're so dedicated, you're a machine, curiosity starts shrinking. Experiments feel risky because misses threaten the brand you've built. Once proving shows up, exploration drops. You pick tasks you can brute force, not ones that would grow your range. Risk tolerance falls, novelty feels dangerous, and you swap learn for look good. Now your nervous system pairs output with safety. I'm okay when I'm producing. That association is powerful because it lowers anxiety until normal human variability hits. Bodies get tired, projects stall, kids get sick, markets wobble. Variability is normal. A narrow identity can't absorb it. Here's where it gets sticky. Identities are like containers. Broad containers, learner, friend, maker, hold dense without cracking. Narrow containers, hard worker, have thin walls. A late start or a missed deadline can feel like a fracture. Your brain reads schedule drift as an identity threat, not a practical problem. When identity is on trial, the system flips into policing, not coaching. Shame floods the channel, curiosity collapses, and you either hide or overprove. Let me ground this with a quick story. Early in her career, a client stayed late once and got public praise. That one moment turned into a pattern, then a brand. Late hero. Promotions followed, but so did anxiety about leaving at 5. Weekends felt morally risky. Creativity dipped because every task became an exam. When a family emergency demanded space, she couldn't keep the tempo. Shame spiked, avoidance crept in, then overcorrection marathons, and the loop tightened. Not because she was weak, but because the container was brittle. There's reinforcement at 3 levels. Socially, we reward volume more than learning. You crushed it lands louder than you designed it well. Organizationally, metrics track what's countable: emails, tickets, hours, not the invisible skills that make work sustainable. Internally, your nervous system logs relief when output earns approval. Relief feels like safety, so your brain chases the cue, produce to exhale. Over time, the cue chain becomes automatic. Now here's where most people mess up. They try to fix the brittleness by doubling down on discipline. I'll never miss again. That makes the container thinner. You're adding glass to glass. The game changer is diversification. Add identity points that aren't tied to output. Values you enact daily, relationships you tend, skills you practice regardless of outcome. This isn't permission to drift. It's widening the walls so normal dips don't feel like collapse. A micro practice that works: track values in action alongside tasks. Generosity, sent a 5-line thank you. Curiosity, asked one naive question. Responsibility, set a clean stop. Within a month, you'll feel sturdier because your ledger isn't only work-shaped. Same job, broader container. Let me back up and name the cultural script so you can see it. We live in an environment saturated with control cues, surveillance metrics, instant comparisons, visible likes, and scarcity narratives. Fall behind and you're done. In that climate, hard worker isn't just a preference, it's armor. Armor worked when you were small and approval was your ticket to safety. As an adult, the same armor becomes weight. You move slower, avoid hits, and forget you can choose the fight. There's also a family layer many of us inherit. Maybe love felt conditional, good grades, extra chores, never complain, and effort bought calm in the house. Your nervous system learned to read other people's regulation as your job. Fast forward, and you're still managing everyone else's discomfort by overproducing. Saying no feels like dropping a plate. Rest feels suspicious. Before we continue, you need to hear this. You're not broken, you're trained. Your brain did what brains do: pair behavior with safety. The fix is not to prove harder, it's to feed different signals. Autonomy says I choose. Competence says I moved the ball. Relatedness says I belong even when I pause. Those 3 needs stabilize motivation when the day wobbles. That's why our reframe and micro choices feel like relief. They start widening the container. Common pitfalls to watch for as you begin: equating boundaries with laziness, confusing learning reps with low stakes, and treating praise detox like isolation. Boundaries are design, not defection. Learning reps are how competence grows. And you don't have to go praise-free, you just move your anchor from applause to alignment. If you remember nothing else here, remember this: a narrow identity breaks under normal variability. Widen the walls by adding identity points you control daily, so your worth isn't riding on a scoreboard. Then autonomy, competence, and safety can do their job when the next wobble hits. Mechanism Part 2. The shame cycle explained. Now that the container is clear, let's map the loop that hijacks your day. It starts with a tiny trigger, a miss, a slowdown, or a comparison. You plan to start at 9, it's 9:27. A teammate pings, per my last email. Your brain doesn't read minor delay. It reads threat. In shame research, think Brené Brown, guilt says I did something bad, shame says I am bad. When identity gets tagged, options narrow. Interpretation snaps in fast. With a hard worker identity, the story becomes, if I'm not producing, I'm not worthy. That's not planning, that's self-protection. The thinking brain dims, the alarm circuitry lights up. Now your body shifts state, heat in your face, tight chest, restless fingers, you tunnel, your attention hunts for relief. Relief usually takes two forms, numbing or proving. Numbing looks like micro escapes, scrolling, snacks, inbox pings disguised as just staying on top of it. It buys 2 minutes of quiet and hands you more shame. Now I'm behind and weak. Proving looks like overcorrection, marathon sessions, penance promises, early alarms you won't keep. It spikes output briefly, then piles recovery debt and errors. Both moves are expensive because neither improves the system that created the spike. The reason this loop sticks is that shame collapses curiosity. You stop asking, what made starting hard? And shift to courtroom questions. What's wrong with me? Courtroom questions only generate punishments. Punishment burns energy without building skill. Meanwhile, physiological arousal rises, you feel urgent, but urgency rarely produces better plans. You prove or you hide, and both keep the identity trial running. Let me show you a normal day sequence. Trigger, your meeting runs long, you lose your prime focus block. Interpretation, I can't protect my time, I'm sloppy. State shift, jaw clenches, breath goes shallow. Numbing, I'll check Slack, then email, then a quick news glance. 40 minutes disappear. Guilt stacks on shame. Overcorrection, no lunch, power through until 6. By 3 p.m., energy crashes, the task rolls to tomorrow with a bigger stake attached. Loop tightens. Now here's where most people mess up. They argue with the feeling, I shouldn't be this sensitive, I just need to toughen up. That keeps you in the courtroom. Or they deny the miss, stack more tasks, pretend the day didn't wobble. That teaches your brain you can't be trusted with reality. Both add load. Instead, run the 3 N's, name, normalize, neutralize. Name the state, this is a shame spike. Labeling shifts it from identity to a temporary condition. Normalize, misses happen, they're data. Variability is normal in any system. Neutralize, a tiny, chosen behavior that moves the task forward and restores agency. 2 minutes, one micro choice, like opening the doc and typing 3 bullets. You just fed autonomy and competence in the exact moment they collapsed. Micro story, a client missed 2 mornings in a row. Old pattern, YouTube binge, vow a heroic night, crash, wake guilty. Day 3, the shame hit at 9:12. She named it out loud. Normalized, I planned poorly yesterday. Neutralized, opened the slide deck, pasted 3 quotes. 2 minutes later, the surge dropped. By 9:25, she was in a 20-minute sprint. Not a perfect day, a stable one. Before we continue, see the overcorrection booby trap. It looks like discipline, but it's bargaining. If I suffer enough, I can buy my worth back. That ties worth tighter to output and guarantees more spikes. The antidote is pre-deciding failure scripts so identity never gets the bill. For example, if I miss a start, I have scope and begin within 5 minutes. That turns wobble into a route. Common mistakes to avoid. Turning naming into ruminating. One label, then action. Don't write a thesis on your shame. Confusing normalize with minimize. We're not excusing patterns, we're removing moral drama so you can change them. Neutralizing with punishment. I'll skip lunch is debt, not progress. Pick a 2-minute step that touches the task. Let's link this back to your needs. In self-determination theory, autonomy and competence stabilize motivation. Shame knocks both offline. Naming and normalizing lower the identity stake. The tiny action restores choice and progress. Physiologically, a small win reduces threat and widens attention. You move from alarm to design. Here's a 30-second drill you can keep on a sticky. Name, shame spike. Normalize, misses our data. Neutralize, open doc, write 3 bullets, or put on shoes, 10 squats, or 2 emails only, 3-minute timer. Run it immediately. If you stall, your step is still too big, cut it in half. One more micro story. A manager lost her focus block to a surprise fire drill meeting. Old loop, add 3 tasks to prove she's back on track, ping 2 people at 10 p.m., sleep badly. New loop, 3 ends, then a pre-written failure script, have scope, keep the stop. She wrote a 1-page outline instead of a full draft and kept her 3 p.m. walk. The project shipped on Thursday with fewer errors, and the shame never got paid. If you remember nothing else, shame is a state, not a verdict. Name it, normalize variability, neutralize with a chosen 2-minute move. That's how you stop paying with identity and start paying with design. Mechanism Part 3, the psychological cost. Now the bill shows up. When worth fuses to output, intrinsic motivation erodes. Work stops being "I'm curious" and becomes "I'm on trial." Even when you finish, you get relief, not satisfaction. Relief quiets the alarm but doesn't refill the tank, so you need the next case to feel okay. In self-determination theory terms, chronic control cues, pressure, surveillance, contingency, thwart autonomy and competence, so the engine runs hot and brittle. The next cost is distorted competence. When shame runs the scoreboard, only flawless wins count. Micro wins don't register. Opening the file, sketching a rough outline, asking one clarifying question. You call those not real work, so the learning curve stays invisible. Without recorded reps, your nervous system never sees progress, so it withholds motivation. Then the emptiness feels like laziness, which becomes more shame. That's how the blind spot amplifies itself. Meanwhile, your body pays allostatic load, the cumulative wear from chronic stress. Each time a normal wobble becomes a worth threat, stress chemistry spikes. Over weeks, your baseline ratchets up. Sleep gets lighter, digestion gets weird, headaches visit more often. You can still function, but you're operating in a narrow tunnel. That tunnel makes everything feel urgent and personal, so your identity fuses tighter to performance even as energy drops. It's a loop. Physiology narrows attention. Narrowed attention reads more threat. Threat reinforces the hard worker identity. Decision fatigue piles on. If every choice is a referendum on goodness, your planning brain burns out by noon. Start now or after email. If I move this, am I weak? 10 tiny trials, and you've got no executive function left for the thing that matters. What follows is either micro-avoidance or grand, unsustainable promises. Neither fixes the system, both deepen the debt. There's also the social tab. Relationships turn into performance theaters. You choose friends who validate the grind, feel uneasy around people who rest without apology, and default to "I've got it" to look reliable. Then you resent the invisible load. At home, you're physically present but mentally rehearsing proofs. Loved ones feel the distance. Shame hates being seen, so you hide in productivity, which looks virtuous while it fuels loneliness. You might be thinking, but pressure gets me moving. Acute pressure can spark action. Chronic pressure corrodes curiosity. Curiosity is the engine of sustainable effort. It lets you tolerate boredom, run experiments, and notice small improvements. Shame collapses curiosity, so you rely on adrenaline spikes and last-minute rescues. That can look heroic, but it prevents stable skill building. You become great at emergencies and bad at quiet progress. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Competence is a ledger of reps, not a vibe. If you only record impressive outcomes, your ledger stays empty and your system never relaxes. Tracking tiny, visible actions is not cute, it's learning science. You're giving your brain evidence that effort maps to progress, which lowers perceived threat and reopens intrinsic motivation. Without that, you'll mistake adrenaline for drive and call burnout high standards. Another cost is opportunity shrinkage. When failure equals unworthiness, you avoid asymmetric bets, the ones with small downside and big learning upside, because even a small miss feels lethal. Your world narrows. You pick tasks you can grind, not ones that would grow your range. You start saying, "I'm just not the kind of person who," when the truth is, "I can't tolerate being new at this." Career paths flat. Creativity withers under the weight of certainty. Let me ground this with a composite story. A manager ran on prove mode for years, overcommitted days, skipped lunches, 10 p.m. emails. Inside, she tracked a private scoreboard that never showed green. We introduced autonomy inches, 1 lever per task, and a win ledger, 3 action lines nightly. 2 weeks in, sleep steadied. 3 weeks in, she kept a weekly walk with a friend. 6 weeks in, she delegated a project without the panic that exposure would equal worth collapse. Same role, less identity tax, more room to care again. The thing most people miss is that these costs stack silently. You don't notice identity collapse on day one. You notice it when normal dips start feeling catastrophic. The fix isn't bigger goals or harsher rules. It's feeding the needs that stabilize motivation and physiology, autonomy and competence, plus practical safety. Autonomy turns tasks from threats into choices. Competence turns actions into proof. Safety, the ability to stop without bargaining, keeps effort from becoming an identity gamble. Give yourself a quick self-check. Do wins feel like brief relief more than quiet pride? Do you discount small actions as not real work? Do minor schedule slips feel moral? Do you need adrenaline to start? Do relationships get your leftovers? If you nodded at 3, the cost is already due. The good news, the same mechanisms that created the debt can unwind it. 1 inch of choice per task, 1 visible action logged, 1 protected stop. Those moves lower threat, broaden attention, and make tomorrow's start cheaper. If you remember nothing else here, remember this. The price of tying worth to output is paid in curiosity, energy, decisions, and connection. Reinvest daily in autonomy and competence, and the nervous system stops charging interest. Now we'll turn that into a daily system that stabilizes you even on messy days. Why this works, how autonomy, competence, and safety break the shame cycle. Now you understand the trap. Shame collapses curiosity, autonomy, and competence all at once. Your nervous system reads a missed start as an identity threat, not a scheduling hiccup. The thinking brain goes offline. You either numb or prove, and both keep the cycle spinning. Here's the game changer. Shame only has power when those 3 needs are starved. In self-determination theory, Desai and Ryan showed that autonomy, competence, and relatedness are the 3 pillars of stable motivation. When shame hijacks your system, it does one thing. It removes your sense of choice, collapses your ability to see progress, and makes stopping feel impossible. You're stuck in survival mode. The system we're building feeds all 3 needs at once, which is why it works so fast. The reframe, my output is variable, my worth is not, gives you autonomy back. It's not a confidence boost, it's a choice toggle. You're saying, I can decide how to respond to this miss instead of shame deciding for me. That single shift moves you from hostage to agent. Your thinking brain comes back online. The sprint, 1 outcome, 3 steps, 1 constraint feeds competence. You're not chasing perfection, you're stacking visible reps. Every action line you log is proof to your nervous system that effort maps to progress. That proof lowers perceived threat. When threat drops, curiosity reopens. You stop bargaining with worth and start experimenting with constraints. The stop, the hard end time, the 5-minute close, the recovery tile you don't earn feeds safety. This is the piece most people skip, and it's why they burn out. Your nervous system needs proof that effort lives in containers. When you honor a stop, even if momentum is there, you're teaching your brain, we can pause, we can recover. Worth doesn't depend on grinding. That safety is what makes tomorrow's start cheaper. Together, these 3 moves lower the identity stake. A missed start becomes data, not a verdict. A slow afternoon becomes a signal to adjust, not proof you're lazy. Normal dips stay normal instead of feeling catastrophic. That's why the system works. You're not fighting shame with willpower. You're starving it of the conditions it needs to survive. Autonomy, competence, and safety are the antidote. Break the trap. The 3 levers framework: autonomy, competence, safety. Leverage beats willpower. If shame collapses curiosity and shoves you into numbing or proving, you won't fix it by gritting your teeth. You'll fix it by feeding the needs that keep motivation stable. The 3 daily levers are autonomy, competence, and safety. Autonomy restores choice. Competence makes progress visible. Safety removes the identity gamble. Hit all 3, and the loop runs cooler. Start with autonomy. 1 inch of choice per task is non-negotiable. Choose a single lever, scope, sequence, or setting. Scope asks, what's the smallest slice that still moves this? Sequence asks, which first step makes everything else easier? Setting asks, where or how will I start so friction is lowest? Don't collect options, pick 1 lever and move. Examples you can steal. Scope, reduce the weekly report to 1 page with 3 bullets and a headline. Sequence, write the conclusion first, then backfill the support. Setting, if the laptop triggers resistance, begin in your Notes app for 2 minutes. Language matters because it fuels the lever. Say, I choose to draft 3 bullets because it clarifies tomorrow's meeting. That because ties the action to a value or time horizon you endorse. Intrinsic reasons pull, pressure pushes. Add one lever, then act for 2 minutes before you think. That's autonomy installed in under 30 seconds. Once autonomy cracks the door, competence keeps it open. Your nervous system trusts what it can see, not what you intend. So track actions, not vibes. A simple win ledger works. At day's end, write 3 observable behaviors in plain language. Outline the intro section. Asked for data from James. Walked 15 minutes at 3 p.m. Verbs only. No judgment words. You're building a reps ledger your brain can relax into. Level this up with progress boards that count reps over time. For each active thread, drafting, revising, outreach, learning, draw 10 boxes. Fill a box when you do a rep. 10 colored boxes beat a foggy, busy week every time. And if you're tempted to log hours, remember, hours are inputs, reps are skills. Results speed up when you stack skill reps with the engine cool. Now safety, the quiet third lever, keeps effort from becoming an identity gamble. Pre-commit small downshifts and protective boundaries regardless of performance. A 20-minute walk plus a 5-minute breath reset in the afternoon. A 5-minute close that lists 3 actions and sets tomorrow's trigger. A weekly 30-minute review that tags values in action, a wins thread, and 1 friction buffer. Rest isn't earned, it's scheduled. Predictable downshifts tell your nervous system, we stop. We repair, threat drops, focus rises. Install failure scripts so misses never bill your worth. Write 3 lines you'll run on autopilot. If I miss a start, have scope and begin within 5 minutes, keep the original stop. If energy crashes, switch to a 10-minute maintenance rep or a recovery tile, then reassess. If a task stalls twice, ask for information or feedback before pushing again. Those scripts convert chaos into a route. You don't negotiate with shame, you execute a plan. Let me show you all 3 levers in one day. Task, draft a client proposal. Autonomy first, I choose to outline because it reduces confusion for Thursday. Lever, scope 1 page, first step, list 3 outcomes the client actually cares about. Competence next, set a 25-minute timer and write those outcomes plus 3 supporting bullets. At the stop, log the action line, wrote 3 outcomes, 9 bullets. Safety last, keep the stop, take your mid-afternoon walk and breath reset, and run a 5-minute close that sets tomorrow's trigger. 9:40 convert bullets to ugly paragraphs. If the morning slips, run the failure script, have scope and start within 5 minutes. Identity never gets invoiced. Quick diagnostic so you know which lever to pull. If you delay starting, you're missing autonomy. Add I choose because, plus 1 lever, scope, sequence, or setting. If you work but feel empty, you're missing competence. Log 3 action lines daily, build a 10-box progress row for your main thread. If you overcorrect, bargain with rest, or dread stopping, you're missing safety. Install a hard stop, a 5-minute close, and a daily recovery tile you don't earn. Common mistakes. Treating autonomy like indulgence. It's constraint by choice, not do whatever. Keep the lever small and bounded. Logging outcomes instead of actions. Client loved it, feels nice, but doesn't teach your brain what to repeat. Write the behaviors that produced it. Earning recovery. If rest depends on crushing it, rest becomes rare and guilty. Schedule it because it fuels tomorrow's reps. Over-levering, you don't need the perfect scope, playlist, and time. 1 lever is enough to move. Here's a quick 60-second routine to wire the levers. Write your non-negotiable and add I choose because. Pick 1 lever, scope, sequence, or setting. Set a timer and start for 2 minutes. At the stop, log 1 action line. Protect your downshift block and close with a next trigger. If you remember nothing else, 1 autonomy choice per task, 3 visible actions in your ledger, and recovery you don't have to earn. That triple hit lowers identity stakes, makes progress tangible, and gives you a floor to stand on the next time the day wobbles. Now we'll turn those levers into a 5-minute daily reset that locks the system in. Action system, the 3-step daily reset. This is your 5-minute stabilizer when the day is messy. It locks in autonomy, competence, and safety without willpower games. You'll do it once in the morning, and it'll carry you even if meetings multiply and energy dips. Step 1 is the 90-second audit. State, load 1 non-negotiable. Set a 90-second timer. First state, Say out loud what you're working with. Sleep 6:10. Focus window 45 minutes before noon. Mood a little tense. Labeling state lowers threat because you're naming conditions, not character. Second, load. Look at your calendar and constraints, meetings, deadlines, expected interruptions. No fiction, just facts. Third, pick one non-negotiable, the smallest meaningful promise you'll keep today even if everything else slides. Write it in one sentence you could show a teammate. Send 3-bullet update to the team, draft headlines for section 2, or call pharmacy to refill. Tiny, visible, shippable. Why this works? You reclaim autonomy by choosing a promise you endorse. You support competence by defining a finish line you can complete. You add safety by limiting the must-do list to 1. Your nervous system stops bracing for an impossible day because the target is real, small, and yours. Step 2 is the commitment triangle. Scope, start, stop. Draw a tiny triangle next to your non-negotiable. At the top, scope, the minimum viable version that still counts. On the left, start, the exact clock time you'll begin, even if it's 3 minutes from now. On the right, stop, the time you'll close it regardless of progress. Scope prevents perfection drift, start kills ambiguity, stop installs safety so you don't turn one promise into a penance marathon. Example, send 3-bullet update. Scope, 3 bullets, 50 words max, no formatting. Start 9:40, stop 10:00. At 9:40, you open a blank doc, paste last week's notes, and write exactly 3 bullets. At 10:00, you ship even if you want to tweak. You can add a bonus block later, but the promise is kept at 10:00, so identity isn't on trial. 2 quick patterns if your day is chaotic. If you have interruptions forecasted, shrink to a 15-minute micro triangle. Scope the smallest slice, start in the next 5 minutes, stop hard. If your energy is low, set an ugly first constraint inside the scope. Bullets only, no sentences, so discomfort doesn't stall you. Step 3 is the win ledger. 3 observable actions, 90 seconds at close. At the end of the day, write 3 lines of what you did in plain verbs. Drafted headlines, asked James for data, walked 15 minutes. Keep it behavioral, not evaluative. If you want an instant tomorrow handle, add a 4th line. The next trigger you'll see in the morning, 9:40, convert bullets to ugly paragraph. This consolidates competence and sets an easy re-entry, so you're not relying on vibes to start. Common mistakes and fixes, overscoping the non-negotiable. Finished proposal isn't scope, it's pressure. Rewrite to 1-page outline with 3 headings. Skipping the stop. That's how a sprint becomes punishment. No stop, no safety. Logging outcomes instead of actions. Client loved it doesn't teach your brain what to repeat. Write the behaviors that made it happen. Forgetting to say, I choose because, before you start. That line flips autonomy on and makes the start cheaper. Let's run a messy day demo so you feel it. You slept poorly, 2 meetings just landed, the inbox is noisy. 90-second audit, energy 4:10. Focus window, 30 minutes before first meeting. Load, stand up at 10, check in at 12, likely Slack pings. Non-negotiable, send 3-bullet project update. Commitment triangle, scope, 3 bullets, 50 words, start 9:25, stop 9:45. Add, I choose to send this because it reduces confusion before noon. At 9:23, run a 2-minute pre-start. Open doc, paste last week's note. At 9:25, write the bullets. At 9:45, send. Noon chaos hits, but your promise is banked. At 5:20, win ledger, sent update, skimmed 2 sources, walked 15 minutes. Next trigger, 9:40, outline 3 subheads for section 2. That's autonomy, competence, safety, all installed in under 5 minutes plus 1 focused block. If you miss your start, don't bargain, run your failure script. Have scope, begin within 5 minutes, keep the stop. So 9:25 slips to 9:33, cut to 2 bullets and still stop at 9:45. You protected the trust contract with yourself, which keeps identity out of it. 2 power upgrades once you're consistent. Pair the triangle with a visible timer so the stop is non-negotiable. And tag your triangles by demand. HML, place H in your best window, M secondary, L in gaps. You'll stop wasting prime energy on admin and stop burning out on high tasks in valleys. The daily reset isn't another routine to nail. It's a design that forgives wobble. Do it poorly and consistently for a week, and you'll feel start latency drop, shame spikes shrink, and evenings quiet down. Tomorrow, write your non-negotiable, draw the triangle, and keep the stop. Then log 3 verbs at close. That's the system doing the heavy lifting so you don't have to. Action system, the weekly identity rebuild. Daily reset stabilizes you day to day. This weekly cadence widens the walls of your identity so normal dips don't feel like collapse. One 30-minute session once a week. You'll collect proof of values, map real progress, and design buffers for friction. Keep, cut, start. That rhythm keeps it light and actionable. Set the frame. Pick a calm spot, set a 30-minute timer, and open 3 sections. Values in action, wins map, and friction lab. Phone away. You're not grading yourself, you're gathering signals that your nervous system can trust. Values in action first. Ask, where did I live my values this week? Pick values you actually care about: curiosity, honesty, generosity, responsibility, play, health. List actions, not vibes. Asked one naive question on Tuesday. Protected a 5 p.m. stop to make dinner. Said no to a 4th quick favor. Took a 10-minute walk even when behind. You're training your brain that belonging doesn't only come from output. That's identity widening in plain sight. Now do a micro keep, cut, start for values, 1 line each. Keep, one practice that felt doable and aligned, like 10-minute walk at 3 p.m. cut. One performative habit that looked good but spiked stress, like replying to email after 10 p.m. start. One tiny move to show that value next week, like ask for 1 piece of feedback Wednesday. 5 minutes tops. Next page, wins map. Grab your daily win ledger and cluster actions into threads. Maybe you see drafted section headlines, pasted quotes, converted bullets to ugly paragraph. That's a drafting thread. Another cluster, skimmed 2 sources, captured 3 ideas, saved 2 references. That's a learning thread. Name each thread and write 1 sentence of progress in plain language. Drafting moved from outline to first pass. Learning fed 3 ideas for section 3. You're telling your brain a story of continuity, not isolated sparks. Pick 1 thread to deepen next week with a single rep. Not a leap, a rep. Tuesday, 10 a.m., write 1 ugly paragraph for section 3. Put it on the calendar. This keeps competence growing without turning the week into a marathon. 3rd page, friction lab. Scan what dragged. Tag the type. Start friction, scope creep, energy dip, info gap, environment trigger, social pressure. Then design 1 buffer per tag. Start friction, add a 2-minute pre-start handle to your calendar invite, open doc, paste notes. Scope creep, pre-write a scope line, 3 bullets, 50 words in the event. Energy dip, move heavy work into your best window and add a mid-block micro break. Info gap. Schedule a 5-minute, find 1 source block before the next sprint. Environment trigger, pre-stage the file, silence notifications. Social pressure, write a not now, here's when reply you can paste. Run, keep, cut, start for friction. Keep, 1 buffer that worked, hard stop with timer. Cut, 1 pretend help, skipping lunch to save time. Start, 1 buffer to test, 3-minute timer before inbox. You're engineering conditions, not lecturing willpower. Close with the weekly yes-no. Look at your calendar and commitments, then write 2 lines. Yes to X because, and no to Y because. Tie the because to values or capacity. Yes to 1 60-minute sprint Thursday because it finishes the draft without panic. No to taking Sam's deck because it would break my deep block. I'll help Friday. That is autonomy in ink. Add 2 identity points not tied to work. Call mom Sunday. Play guitar for 10 minutes Saturday. Put them on the calendar. You're widening the container so a work wobble doesn't spill everywhere. Optional 1-minute handoff for Monday. Write your non-negotiable, its commitment triangle, scope, start, stop, and your best energy window. That way, you start at step 2, not with a scavenger hunt. Quick micro story. A client ended Fridays with dread and vague guilt. We installed this cadence. Week 1, she found a learning thread she hadn't noticed, 3 small research reps. Week 2, she cut late-night email and kept a 3 p.m. walk. Week 3, she added a not now macro and protected 2 deep blocks. Her output didn't double. Her start latency dropped, evenings quieted, and she felt proud of alignment, not just volume. Same job, broader identity walls. Common mistakes. Turning the review into a performance eval. Don't score yourself. Tag signals and make 1-sentence decisions. Writing essays. Bullets beat paragraphs. Speed keeps it sustainable. Skipping cut. If nothing leaves, nothing fits. Ignoring friction. Buffers are leverage. Effort without design is expensive. waiting for the perfect time. 30 imperfect minutes beats 0 perfect. Why this works? You're feeding autonomy, competence, and safety at a weekly altitude. Values in action widens identity beyond output. Wins map stabilizes competence by showing continuity. Friction lab lowers future threat through design. Yes/no protects autonomy for the week ahead. 2 non-work identity points keep worth diversified. If you remember nothing else, once a week, collect alignment, cluster wins, design 1 buffer, and commit to 1 yes and 1 no with a because. That's how you build an identity that can absorb misses without cracking and still ship the work. The 60-minute sprint protocol. This is your competence engine in 1 clean hour. It pairs perfectly with your daily reset and commitment triangle, so you move real work without paying the identity tax. We'll run 10 minutes to plan, 40 to focus, 10 to close. 1 outcome, 3 steps, 1 constraint. Then a mid-sprint check and a tight close that hands tomorrow an easy start. Start with the 10-minute plan. Set a timer. Outcome first, the visible finish line for this sprint, not the whole project. Say it in a sentence a stranger could verify. Draft 6 bullets for section 3, not work on the paper. Now write 3 steps as behaviors, not ideas. Skim notes, pull 3 quotes, draft 6 bullets. Then add 1 constraint, your guardrail. Bullets only, or max 200 words, or no more than 2 tabs of research. Constraints reduce decision fatigue and stop perfection drift. You're building a small, safe container so your brain will cooperate. Now the 40-minute focus block. Kill the stimuli you can, close chat, hide analytics, phone out of sight. Start where your plan says. At minute 20, do a mid-sprint check. Ask, am I inside my constraint? What's the next micro step? If you drifted, return to the 3 steps. If you're ahead, deepen clarity inside the same constraint. Do not widen the target. Your goal is stable traction, not heroics. Let me walk you through a live example. Task, proposal, section 3 benefits. Outcome, write 6 bullets that mirror user quotes. 3 steps, scan last week's calls, paste 3 pain quotes, draft 6 benefit bullets that map to each quote. Constraint, bullets only, no sentences. Start the 40, minute 12, quotes pasted. Minute 18, 3 bullets drafted. Mid-sprint check, still within constraint? Yes. Next micro step, bullets 4 to 6. Minute 31, the itch to polish hits, constraint holds the line. You finish 6 bullets, clean enough to build on, ugly enough to avoid the spiral. Close with the final 10 minutes. Log actions, score energy, set the next trigger. Actions are plain verbs, skimmed notes, pasted 3 quotes, drafted 6 bullets. Energy quick score 1-5 to spot patterns. If your 11 a.m. runs at a 4 and your 3 p.m. runs at a 2, schedule future sprints where they'll hit. Next trigger, 1 sentence that hands your future self an easy start, like tomorrow 9:40, convert bullets to 3 short paragraphs. That close consolidates competence and preserves safety with a predictable handoff. Common mistakes and fixes. Mistake 1, treating sprints like courtrooms to win back worth. You inflate scope, blow the stop, and leave fried. Fix, hold your constraint and stop time. Sprints are experiments, outcomes get right-sized next time. Mistake 2, fuzzy steps like research more. Fix, rewrite them as touchable actions, find 2 sources, pull 3 quotes, cut 5 sentences. Mistake 3, expanding scope mid-sprint because momentum feels good. Fix, deepen inside the constraint. Expansion is a next sprint decision. Mistake 4, skipping the mid-sprint check. Fix, set a 20-minute chime. That's your pattern interrupt. Interruptions happen, plan for them. If an interruption is predictable, choose a 25-minute half sprint with the same rules in a smaller container. If it's unexpected, pause the timer, jot the current micro step on a sticky, handle it, return, and resume. The sticky is your context cue, so restart cost stays low and shame doesn't tax you for the detour. 2 upgrades once you've run 5 clean sprints. 1, theme your sprints by week rhythm. Monday draft, Wednesday revise, Friday ship. Ride the natural arc. Explore early, refine mid, finish late. 2, chain sprints. 1 60-minute sprint, a 5-minute walk and water, then a second 60. 2 clean hours with a micro break will beat an 8-hour mush day. If a task is gnarly, use the constraint to make it safe. Writing, ugly draft only, no backspace. Research, 5 sources max, 1 sentence per source. Design, wireframe boxes only, no color. Coding, prototype function, no refactors. The constraint reduces decisions and panic, which keeps curiosity alive. Tie it back to your levers so you feel why this works. Autonomy, you chose the outcome and constraint. Competence, you logged visible behaviors. Safety, you honored a hard stop and left breadcrumbs for tomorrow. That trio turns a sprint from proof to process. If you miss the start, run your failure script. Have scope, begin within 5 minutes, keep the stop. Identity never gets billed. If you remember nothing else, remember this shape. 10 to plan, 1 outcome, 3 steps, 1 constraint. 40 to focus with a 20-minute check. 10 to close, log, energy score, next trigger. Run 1 sprint today on the task you're avoiding. You'll feel the engine cool while the work moves. Missed day playbook, fail without identity damage. You're going to miss days, not because you're sloppy, but because life is variable. The goal isn't 0 misses, it's 0 identity damage. We're going to normalize, compress the recovery, and protect the trust contract so tomorrow stays cheap. First move, normalize out loud. Misses are data, not verdicts. That one sentence shuts down the courtroom and reopens design mode. You're not excused, you're informed. Next, run the 2-line recovery. Write it, don't think it. What happened? 1 factual sentence, no adjectives. Back-to-backs ran long, energy crashed at 3. Smallest next step, 1 behavior you can do in 2 minutes. Open the deck and convert 1 bullet to a sentence. Writing externalizes rumination and turns a swirl into a handle. Then do the 2-minute action immediately. If you stall, your step is too big, shrink it again. Paste a quote. Name the file. Start timer for 3 minutes. Now shrink to win, have scope, keep the stop. If you planned 40 minutes, do 20. If you promised 6 bullets, do 3. If you scheduled the gym, do 8 minutes at home. The reason this works is you protect the trust contract. I keep promises, while reducing re-entry friction. Momentum grows from kept promises, not perfect sessions. Add the auto-compassion script so your thinking brain stays online. Acknowledge, yeah, today wobbled. Affirm capacity, we've restarted before. Set the cue, next move is 2-minute open, then we see. This isn't coddling. It's state regulation that restores autonomy and competence in the moment shame tries to steal them. Critical boundary, no debt. Missed work doesn't roll over by default. If you drag yesterday into today plus today's load, you teach your brain that misses become mountains. Instead, rescope from reality. Given the time left, what's the minimum viable version that still meets the goal? If something truly must be made up, schedule a specific, bounded slot. Debt that's invisible becomes dread. Dread becomes avoidance. Protect safety so re-engagement stays possible. Let me show you the sequence on a live wobble. You planned a 60-minute sprint at 10, it's 11:15 and you're fried. Normalize, misses are data. 2-line recovery, call extended, I didn't reset. Open doc, convert 1 bullet to a sentence. Shrink to win, 25-minute half sprint, constraint 3 sentences max. Auto-compassion, wobble happened. Open and type, then reassess. No debt, you don't stack another hour tonight. You log the action, set a 9:40 trigger for tomorrow, and keep your recovery block. Identity never gets invoiced. 2 traps to avoid. Penance sprints, punishing yourself with a 3-hour grind at night buys short-term relief and long-term instability. And self-critique disguised as learning, what happened? I'm undisciplined. That's a character attack, not a cause. Causes you can fix. No buffer between meetings, skipped lunch, info gap at step 2, notifications on. Fix 1, don't flagellate. If you miss an entire day, zoom the same playbook. Normalize, today zeroed out. 2 lines, kid sick, 0 focus blocks. Tomorrow 9:40, set triangle for non-negotiable. Shrink tomorrow's scope now and keep the stop. No weekend penance unless it's scheduled and bounded by choice, not shame. If misses are chronic, diagnose with tags, not blame. Is it start friction? Install a 2-minute pre-start handle in the calendar. Scope creep, pre-write a scope line with a constraint. Energy dips, move high load to your best window at a mid-block micro break. Info gaps, schedule a 5-minute find 1 source block before sprints. Environment triggers, pre-stage the file, hide analytics, silence previews. Social pressure, use your not now, here's when macro. 2 small anchors keep you safe on missed days. The reset tile, a daily 10-minute calendar block labeled reset. Name right arrow normalize, right arrow neutralize. It's a standing re-entry, not a special event. And the safe stop, a hard stop alarm you honor regardless of performance. Stopping on time teaches your nervous system that work lives in containers and worth lives outside them. Micro story: a student missed 3 mornings a week, then paid with midnight marathons. We installed the Playbook. 2 lines, halved scope, no debt, 5-minute close. Week 1, she halved scope 6 times. Week 2, misses dropped to 1 day because rest wasn't weaponized. 2 weeks later, same output, fewer hours, no late night penance. The difference wasn't heroics, it was predictability under wobble. Tie it back to the levers so it sticks. Normalize lowers the identity stake, safety. The 2-minute action restores choice, autonomy. Having scope and logging the action rebuilds progress, competence. You're feeding the same needs that stabilize motivation right at the point of failure. Keep a 1-card script by your desk. Misses our data. What happened? Smallest step. Have scope, keep the stop. Open now for 2 minutes. Run it without debate. If you remember nothing else, remember this. You don't need perfect days, you need a predictable restart you trust. That's how you fail without paying with identity, and how you show up tomorrow with a cooler engine. Rebuilding ambition, competence without collapse. Stability isn't the finish line, it's the launch pad. Now we'll bring ambition back without waking the shame loop. Think athlete, not hero, controlled load, clear reps, planned recovery. You'll ladder difficulty, pair outcomes with processes, plan by skills and budget energy. Small plates, steady gains, zero identity tax. Start with laddering. Increase difficulty 10-20% weekly, not daily. If last week's writing rep was 20-minute bullets, this week is 22-24 minutes or bullets to ugly paragraphs. If outreach was 3 emails, make it 4 with a tighter template. Small bumps keep curiosity online and your nervous system cool. Big jumps trigger panic and sabotage. When in doubt, add 1 plate, not the whole rack. Use dual metric goals. Every goal gets an outcome metric and a process metric. Outcome is what ships. Publish 1 article Friday. Process is the reps that make shipping likely. 3 40-minute sprints mon/wed/thur. If Friday slips, you still bank reps and adjust. Outcomes keep projects real, processes keep momentum under wobble. Shift to skill-first planning. Projects end, skills compound. Pick 1 or 2 high-leverage skills: structured writing, clear pitching, focused research, clean delegation. Put the reps on the calendar like workouts. Tuesday 10 a.m., 40-minute writing sprint. Thursday 2 p.m., 20-minute pitch drafting. Feedback makes reps smarter. Book a 10-minute review with a peer or set a weekly self-crit check. Tighten verbs, shorten intros, clarify CTA. You're building engines, not chasing emergencies. Now energy budgeting. Sort tasks by demand: high, medium, low. High is cognitively heavy, novel, or emotionally loaded. Medium is known but effortful. Low is admin or mechanical. Place highs in your best window, mediums in secondary slots, lows in valleys or between meetings. Guardrails: no more than 2 high-load blocks per day, and separate them with movement or low-load work. Put your ship block early enough to fix small issues before the week ends. Here's a weekly template you can steal. Monday, high draft, medium review, low admin. Tuesday, high draft, low meetings, medium refine. Wednesday, medium research, high revise, low inbox batch. Thursday, high draft ship, medium collab, low ops. Friday, medium ship, low close, identity points walk, friend call. Tie ambition to boundaries so growth stays durable. Write 2 you won't cross even when motivated. No more than 2 high-load blocks per day. Stop times are hard stops. No scope expansions mid-sprint. Boundaries protect safety so the engine can scale without cracking. Let's run a concrete arc. Quarterly deliverable, a 15-page white paper. Week 1, you're stable, daily reset, 1 60-minute sprint Wednesday, win ledger nightly. Ladder to 2 40-minute sprints, wed 10 a.m., fry 3 p.m. With constraints, bullets only, then ugly paragraphs. Dual metrics, outcome, outline complete by Friday, process, 2 sprints. Energy budget, Wednesday in your best window, Friday in a medium slot. Week 2, keep 2 sprints and add a single revise constraint to 1. Week 3, hold sprint count steady, increase difficulty 10%, tighten verbs in 1 sprint. Week 4, add an early Friday ship block with a tight stop, export and send first pass draft to editor. You climb without drama. What happens when life hits? Use trend checks, not vibes. Ask weekly. Did difficulty climb 10-20%? Did I hit process reps? How did energy hold? If difficulty spiked and energy crashed, hold the level next week or deload 20% to consolidate. If process reps fell short, shrink constraints and protect recovery. Don't add Saturday penance. If energy scored under 3 twice, move one high-load block earlier and split one into 2 25s. Use progressive constraints to grow precision without inflating load. Week A, bullets only. Week B, ugly paragraph. Week C, tighten verbs. Week D, cut 10% words. 1 constraint per sprint, rotated weekly. You're sharpening the blade without swinging harder. Every 4th week, consider a deload. Reduce difficulty 20-30%, hold process reps, protect recovery. Consolidation cements gains, curiosity refills. You return stronger because the system stayed cool. Avoid common traps. Measuring only outputs, track reps and difficulty tiers so progress stays visible when shipping lags. Expanding scope mid-sprint. Hold the line. Expansion is a next week decision. Stacking new goals on unstable systems. If daily reset slips, don't add a second skill program. Stabilize, then scale. Chasing adrenaline. If you need panic to start, your constraint is too loose. Tighten it until the start feels safe. Micro story. A designer craved bigger projects but lived on last-minute heroics. We set dual metrics. Outcome, ship 1 case study by end of month. Process, 2 sprints weekly. Moan draft, wed refine, fry ship block bi-weekly. Constraints, wireframe boxes only, then copy only, no layout, then cut 15% words. Energy budget, put creative highs at 9:30 a.m., admin after lunch. Week 3, a client fire hit. He held reps, halved scope, used a Friday ship block to send a scrappy draft. Month's end, the case study shipped. No all-nighter, no identity debt. Next month, he added 1 plate, an outreach rep on Thursdays. Why this works? Autonomy plus competence plus safety scales. You choose the plate and the constraint, you log visible reps, and you stop on time. The system stays predictable under load, so shame doesn't get to drive. Ambition stops being a pendulum and becomes a staircase. If you remember nothing else, ladder 10-20% weekly, pair outcome with process, plan by skills, and budget energy with 2 highs max per day. Growth that respects your nervous system lasts. Recovery blueprint, rest that actually restores. Recovery isn't time off, it's a nervous system downshift that makes tomorrow's start cheaper. We're not chasing spa days, we're installing brief, reliable resets that lower threat chemistry and widen attention. Think rhythmic movement, longer exhales, low input moments, and predictable closures. When rest is scheduled, not earned, your brain stops bargaining with worth and lets you stop on time. Build a simple menu you'll actually use. 4 categories: physical, sensory, social, creative. Pick one daily, 10 to 20 minutes. Physical is gentle rhythm. A 20-minute walk, light mobility, easy cycling, slow yoga. Breathing pairs matter. Keep your exhales slightly longer than inhale to nudge the parasympathetic system. Sensory is low stimulation. 5 minutes of box breathing, a warm shower, sitting by a window with tea, 2 minutes eyes on a far horizon to relax focus. Social is warm and uncomplicated. A voice note to a friend, 10 minutes of play with your kid, a short walk with a neighbor. Creative is low-stakes making. Doodle, noodle 3 chords, water plants, try a new snack recipe. No goals, no posting, no content, just presence. Anchor your day with an active recovery pair, walk plus breath. Aim for a 20-minute walk and a 5-minute breath reset mid-afternoon. Use a 1-minute inhale, longer exhale for 2 minutes, then 2 minutes normal breathing. If walking's not realistic, do 5 to 10 minutes of gentle mobility and the same breath pattern. Consistency beats intensity. Install an off-switch ritual, the 5-minute close. At your stop time, write 3 action lines from today and 1 next trigger for tomorrow. Close the laptop, clear the immediate surface, change rooms. Optional, a light sensory cue, dim a lamp or play a short instrumental track to make the stop felt. You're training a closure reflex so evenings aren't a mental replay of proofs. Guard sleep with simple rails. Pick a consistent lights down window. Choose a caffeine cutoff you respect. Reduce high-input screens for the last 30-60 minutes or switch to low-stim modes. If planning keeps you awake, give it a home. 2-minute brain dump on paper, then back to wind down. We're increasing sleep likelihood, not chasing perfect sleep. Thread recovery into your existing system so it runs without willpower. In your daily reset, write your stop and recovery tile. In your sprint close, add the day's recover cue, 3 p.m. walk. In your weekly identity rebuild, run, keep, cut, start for rest. Keep the walk that worked, cut late night inbox, start a 5-minute breath after your second meeting. Recovery becomes visible and trackable, like reps. Use energy-aware micro breaks inside work to avoid arriving at the walk already fried. Every 50-90 minutes, stand, sip water, look at a distant point for 30 seconds, take 3 longer exhales, then continue. 90 seconds can lower load enough to preserve focus without derailing flow. If you hate walking, swap the pattern, not the principle. Choose any low-load, rhythmic activity with presence, tai chi, light rowing, a slow dish reset with breath pacing. The point is rhythm, low input, and containment. Common traps to avoid. Treating rest as a reward, I'll rest if I crush it, turns recovery into a bargaining chip. Schedule recovery because it fuels competence. Calling high-input entertainment recovery, if it spikes you, call it play, not restoration. Skipping the off switch. Without a close, your brain reopens the courtroom at 9 p.m. planning epic rest blocks. Small, reliable resets beat one perfect Sunday. Design for your real life. If you have kids, make the walk a stroller loop or a living room mobility flow. If your afternoons get hijacked, move the walk to late morning and keep a 2-minute sensory reset after your second meeting. If your evenings run social, keep the 5-minute close sacred and shrink the breath reset to 3 minutes. Tie this to your levers so motivation stays stable. Recovery is safety. You're proving to your nervous system that effort lives in containers and stops predictably. That lower threat state makes autonomy easier to exercise because your brain isn't guarding survival, and it makes competence easier to see because you're not working while flooded. Here's a plug-and-play weekly rotation. Monday, physical 20-minute walk plus breath. Tuesday, sensory breath plus window gaze. Wednesday, social 10-minute voice note or walk. Thursday, creative doodle or guitar, 10 minutes. Friday, any category that fits your energy. Pair that with a nightly 5-minute close and a consistent sleep window. If you miss a recovery block, don't pay with debt. Shrink it, 2-minute breath, then a 1-minute tidy and move. You kept the stop, you protected safety. Quick micro story. A client swore rest made me soft. We installed a non-negotiable 3 p.m. walk and a 5-minute close. Week 1, she felt restless. Week 2, she noticed fewer 4 p.m. crashes. Week 3, her start latency dropped 10 minutes on average because her evenings weren't courtroom replays. Same workload, cooler engine, cleaner starts. If you remember nothing else, schedule one daily downshift, run the 5-minute close, and protect a consistent sleep window. Recovery lowers threat so autonomy feels possible and competence becomes visible. That's how you sustain ambition without feeding the shame loop. Environment and identity, designed for autonomy cues. Your space can whisper you choose or shout you're behind. We want constant, low-effort cues that tip you toward choice, tiny progress, and safe stops. Think slope design, little tilts that make the next good move automatic. Start with friction reduction. Create a default workspace that's boring in the best way, same chair, same light, same tools. Put headphones, notebook, pen, and charger within arm's reach. End each day by pre-staging tomorrow. Open the exact dock, drop a sticky with your next trigger, set your timer beside the keyboard. Tomorrow begins at step 2, not with a scavenger hunt. If you work in multiple spots, keep a go bag with those basics so setup is one motion. Replace the wall of obligations with an autonomy board. For your top 3 projects, make a visible micro-choice menu with 3 columns, scope, sequence, setting. Under scope, list 3 bullets, 1 ugly paragraph, 1 page outline. Under sequence, list skim notes, paste quotes, draft headings. Under setting, list quiet desk, standing counter, notes app 2 minutes. When you stall, glance once and pick 1 lever. That single choice flips autonomy on and shrinks the start. Build a competence wall that counts reps, not hours. Create a progress board with rows for drafting, revising, outreach, learning. 10 empty boxes per row. Fill a box each time you complete a rep. Colored boxes give your nervous system proof that you're moving even when shipping lags. That visible ledger reduces the urge to overcorrect because progress is concrete, not imagined. Clean up digital scoreboards that hijack worth. Disable preview banners for email and chat. Mute social notifications during focus windows. Move analytics and metrics behind a folder. Check them only in your weekly review. Unfollow feeds that spike urgency and shrink your world to volume contests. This is not deprivation, it's signal hygiene. Fewer pings mean your autonomy cues can be heard. Install a one-click start ritual. Create a Start Sprint bookmark that opens your current doc, your 40-minute timer, and your progress board in one click. Or, analog version, tape a 3-line sprint card on your desk, outcome, steps, constraint, with a pen on top. Your hand shouldn't have to negotiate to begin. Encode autonomy in your calendar. Name blocks by verb and scope. Write 3 bullets S2. Put the constraint and stop time in the description. Add a 2-minute pre-start alert labeled Open Doc, paste quotes. If the day shifts, drag the block, the plan travels with it. You keep agency under change. Tune light and sound for energy. Use warm, consistent light for focus blocks, cooler light for admin. Headphones signal monotask. Create 2 playlists, one for high focus, one for low load. Start your sprints with the same track so your brain pairs that sound with action. That Pavlov cue lowers start cost. Make social boundaries visible. At home, use a small focus sign during sprints with a stop time, heads down until 11:45. At work, share your not now, here's when reply macro with teammates, heads down until 1, I'll circle back at 1:30. Clear cues reduce interruption guilt and make stopping on time easier. Pre-stage tools and context. Keep context bins labeled plan, do, review, ship. Drop papers or links in the right bin as you go. During your weekly identity rebuild, pull from review. During a sprint, only open do. You reduce decision fatigue by narrowing the lane you're in. Hide comparison triggers in your line of sight. If your desk faces a wall of urgent post-its, replace them with 2 small anchors, your autonomy board and your progress rows. Keep the reframe line at eye level. My output is variable, my worth is not. Today I budget energy, not prove value. Pair it with a tiny 2-minute next step, sticky. You want the room to answer, yes, this. Use environment to protect safety. Set a physical stop cue, a desk lamp you switch off at the end of focus, or a small sand timer you flip for a 5-minute close. Put your walking shoes where you can see them near 3 p.m. The less you have to remember, the more you'll honor the downshift. Loop your environment into your failure scripts. Keep a half sheet by your keyboard with the 3 lines. If I miss a start, have scope, begin within 5, keep stop. If energy crashes, maintenance rep or recovery tile. If stalled twice, ask for info feedback. Put a box to tick when you run it. You're turning chaos into a checklist your space supports. Common mistakes. Designing for a fantasy day. Build for interruptions, dips, and shifting plans. Aesthetic overfunction. Plants are nice. A pre-staged file saves minutes every start. Overcomplicating boards. Fewer levers, fewer rows, more use. Letting analytics live on your dock. Hide them until review day. If you remember nothing else, stage the next step, make micro choices visible, count reps you can see, mute comparison, and give yourself a 1-click start plus a physical stop. Your space should constantly say, you choose the slice, you see the progress, and it's safe to stop. When your room carries that message, your brain stops negotiating and starts moving. The 14-day reset plan. We're going to install everything you've learned in 2 weeks, light lifts, stacked in order. By day 3, you'll feel traction. By day 7, safety. By day 14, momentum without identity tax. Days 1-3, daily reset, 1 sprint, win ledger. Each morning, run the 90-second audit and write 1 non-negotiable with a commitment triangle. Scope, start, stop. Midday, run a single 60-minute sprint. 1 outcome, 3 steps, 1 constraint, 20-minute mid-check, 10-minute close with actions, energy score, next trigger. At day's end, log 3 verbs in your win ledger. Boring consistency beats heroics. Success here is 1 kept promise, 1 clean sprint, 3 logged actions, nothing fancy. Days 4-7, weekly identity rebuild and autonomy menus. Do 1 30-minute session. Values in action, wins map, friction lab. Keep 1 practice, cut 1 performative habit, start 1 tiny move. Build a visible 3-column micro choice menu for your top projects. Scope, sequence setting. Use it anytime you stall. Keep closing your day with 3 action lines and a next trigger. You're widening identity while keeping progress visible. Days 8-10, miss day playbook. You'll miss a start, good. Practice the restart. Normalize out loud, misses our data. Write the 2-line recovery. What happened? And smallest next step. Have scope, keep the stop, do 2 minutes now. Simulate it even on a good day, intentionally cut a planned sprint to 25 minutes with a tighter constraint. You're teaching your nervous system predictability under wobble. Days 11-12, recovery menu and a daily rest tile. Choose one option in each category: physical, sensory, social, creative. Add a repeating 20-minute walk plus breath tile to your afternoons. Install the 5-minute close ritual, 3 action lines, next trigger, tidy, move rooms. Pick a consistent lights down window and caffeine cutoff you'll respect. Recovery is now scheduled, not earned. Days 13-14, environment tune and next 2-week goals. Pre-stage tomorrow's work at close. Dock open, next trigger sticky, timer ready. Create a simple progress board with 4 rows, drafting, revising, outreach, learning, 10 boxes each. Hide 1 digital comparison trigger and add a 1-click, start sprint ritual. Set 2 dual metric goals for the next 2 weeks, each with 1 outcome and 1 process metric, placed in energy-aware calendar blocks. Here's how a day flows by week 2. Morning, 90-second audit, non-negotiable 3 bullets, start 9:40, stop 10:00. Say, I choose this because it reduces confusion before noon. Sprint at 11:00 with bullets only constraint, mid-check at 11:20, close with 3 action lines and a next trigger. Afternoon, recovery walk at 3:00. Evening, 5-minute close. If you miss the start, run the failure script. Have scope, start within 5, keep the stop. Use simple success criteria at day 14. You're logging 3 actions most days. Shame spikes shrink faster. You run name right arrow normalize right arrow neutralize. At least 5 colored boxes across your progress rows. Common snags and fixes. Overscoping non-negotiables. Rewrite to the smallest deliverable that still counts. Headline, 3 bullets, ugly paragraph. Turning sprints into courtrooms. Keep the constraint tight, honor the stop. Proof lives in the ledger, not in suffering. Treating recovery as optional. Protect the rest tile like a meeting. It fuels tomorrow's start. Skipping cut in the weekly review. Something must leave for something to fit. Letting analytics ride shotgun. Hide metrics until review. Check once a week, not mid-sprint. Micro story for momentum. A product lead started day 1 with send 3 bullet update, then 1 sprint on Wednesday. By day 3, starts were 5 minutes faster. Day 7, she ran her first halved scope restart without drama. Day 10, the 3 p.m. walk killed her 4 p.m. crash. Day 14, her progress board showed 8 drafting reps, 5 revising reps, 3 outreach reps. Same job, cooler engine, cleaner shipping. Write your 2-week card now. Daily, 1 non-negotiable with a triangle, 1 sprint, 3 action lines, walk plus breath, 5-minute close. Weekly, values wins friction, 1 yes and 1 no with a because, 2 identity points not tied to work. Always, if you miss, have scope, keep the stop, move 2 minutes now. Run the card, let the system carry you. Checkpoints, metrics, and course corrections. You've built the system, now you need a cockpit you can scan in under 5 minutes that tells you if it's working. We're not grading your personality, we're steering with signals. 3 layers: what you feel, what you count, and what you do next. Start with felt signals. These show up before big outcomes. Starts feel cheaper, less internal arguing, more open and go. Misses rebound faster. You normalize, have scope, and you're moving within an hour instead of losing the afternoon. Evenings are quieter. The 5-minute close shuts the courtroom down. Energy is steadier. Fewer crash days, more medium good days. Curiosity returns. You tweak constraints and try tiny experiments instead of bargaining with worth. If 2 or more are true most weeks, you're on the right slope. Now the simple dials. 3 you can track weekly in under 2 minutes. Dial 1, start latency. How long between planned start and actual start on your non-negotiable or sprint? Log as a simple category. Under 5 minutes, 5:15, over 15. You want the trend nudging left over 2 weeks. Dial 2, micro wins count. How many action lines did you log this week? Aim for 15-21 lines across 5 to 7 days. You're not maximizing, you're keeping the win ledger alive so competence stays visible. Dial 3, scope accuracy. Of the sprint outcomes you planned, how many fit the time box without spilling? Quick sense, most half or few. If few, your outcomes are too big or constraints too loose. We'll fix it next. Optional dial if it helps. Average energy score for sprints, 1-5. Use it to place future sprints in windows where they hit. Here's the key, each dial pairs with a pre-written course correction. No debates, just if-then moves. If start latency rises 3 days in a row, increase autonomy, not pressure. Pick one. Add a 2-minute pre-start handle inside the calendar block. Open doc, paste notes. Use the I choose because sentence before each start to reconnect reason to action. Choose one lever from your autonomy menu, scope, sequence, or setting before you touch the keyboard. If micro wins drop below 12 in a week, rebuild competence first, not hours. Choose one. Shrink all non-negotiables next week to 3 bullets or ugly paragraph. Add a daily 10-minute maintenance rep on your core skill. Tiny reps wake the ledger up faster than Saturday punishment. If scope accuracy is few, right-size the box. Next week. Cut planned sprint outcomes by 30%, or tighten constraints. Bullets only, 5 sources max. Wireframes only, no color. Hold the tighter box for a full week before adjusting again. If energy averages under 3 across multiple sprints, shift load instead of muscling through. Move one high-load sprint into your best window. Split another into 2 25s with a 5-minute walk and water between. Add a 2-minute breath reset after your second meeting. Cooler engine, better output. If your weekly identity rebuild keeps slipping, lower the bar and lock the time. Pre-schedule a low-conflict slot. Run a 20-minute mini version. 1 values line, 1 wins thread, 1 friction buffer. Some beats none. Add a monthly identity audit that keeps output from swallowing the room. Pull your values and action lines and your shipped outcomes. Ask, did values show up more often than shipped? If output dwarfs values, pick one value to amplify next month with a concrete behavior. Ask one honest question per meeting. Protect a 5 p.m. stop 3 times. That keeps identity wide even when work runs hot. Use quick troubleshooting patterns. If you see good week, bad week swings, you're overloading then paying for it. Install a deload week every 4th week. Reduce sprint difficulty 20-30%, keep process reps, guard recovery. Gains consolidate in the downshift. If latency is fine but you stall mid-sprint, your steps are fuzzy. Rewrite them as touchable actions. Paste 3 quotes, write 6 bullets, cut 5 sentences. Use the 20-minute mid-check to re-anchor to the constraint. If the ledger is full but nothing ships, you're hoarding draft reps. Add a Friday ship block with a tight constraint. Export and send, cut 80 words, submit as is to teammate. Shipping is a skill, give it reps. If shame spikes still hijack starts, refresh the reframe where you can see it. My output is variable, my worth is not. Today I budget energy, not prove value. Pair it with a 2-minute next step. Talk to your system while your hands move. If social friction keeps derailing you, install 2 scripts. A not now, here's when macro for teammates, and a 10-minute weekly, wins and friction, check in with a peer who celebrates process. Boundaries and community normalize design over drama. Keep the cockpit visible and dumb simple. One sticky with the 3 dials. Under it, this week's if-then correction. Under that, one identity point not tied to work you'll honor, call your friend, play 3 songs, read 2 pages. You're training your nervous system that progress is controllable and worth is diversified. The meta metric is correction speed. How quickly do you notice drift, name it, and nudge one lever? The faster that loop gets, the less you'll need willpower. That's how you know the system has taken root. You don't need perfect days, you need predictable nudges that keep you moving without paying with identity. Tie it back to the levers so it sticks. The dials keep autonomy honest, are you choosing on purpose? They keep competence visible, are you logging actions and shipping? They keep safety intact, are you stopping on time and recovering without bargaining? When those 3 are fed, shame loses leverage, curiosity comes back online, and work stops feeling like a courtroom. Set your Friday 5-minute review now. Scan the dials, mark one course correction, log one identity point. Close the notebook, switch off the lamp. The cockpit is simple on purpose, so your effort can be complex without being chaotic. Protect autonomy, competence, and safety every day, and your worth stops riding on output. Shame loses leverage fast. Run the 14-day reset. One non-negotiable with a triangle, one sprint, 3 action lines, and a 5-minute close. Start Monday and drop your first micro win in the comments. What 3 verbs did you log today? Subscribe for the advanced identity playbook next.